Okay, I have got my fingers crossed that this is working now because this is about the 20th time I have started this recording. Otherwise, I've pressed a wrong button or I've lost connection with my camera. So I've got my fingers crossed that this is all working and it's not going to fail, because I also got almost a screen of death on my computer yesterday. So it went orange and white, and I knew that my screen was dying. I'm trying to get as long out of it as I can, but I think it's almost time for a funeral for the computer because it's pretty old. It's, I want to say 7 years old, so that's pretty old for a computer. But unfortunately, I only have a laptop as a backup and it doesn't do all the things I need it to do. So anyway, I am pre-recording this video, which I was going to go live. I had planned on going live, but quick last minute change because, well, it's my birthday today, so that will be yesterday when you're watching this. And I didn't have any definite plans, but as it turns out, I now have plans to go to my mother's or my parents tomorrow for a family dinner with my sisters. So, yeah, I had to change plans and pivot a little bit and do a pre-recording for tonight because I thought I'm not going to cancel, I'm still going to do it. So I've got a bit of a fun card prepared for tonight, and I've got a smudge on my glasses. It's annoying me, but I can talk while I clean it. So I have made a bit of a fun fold, and it's using some new, not yet seen products. Well, I'm sure you have seen them around the interwebs, but these are new online exclusives that will be available in January the 7th. So I'm going to use those today and make a fun fold. If you haven't yet seen, we have a whole bunch of products, including the new catalogue coming out on the 7th of Jan. You can get these now. I know we're getting closer anyway, but if you want to stock up, maybe buy yourself a Christmas present, you could actually buy yourself the starter kit. So here's a little promo. This shows the Sale-a-Bration as well as a little sneak peek of the online exclusives that are available for demonstrators to pre-order and pre-own at the moment. You can actually get the products I'm using. You can add them now. You just have to purchase a starter kit for $169. You can choose $235 of whatever products you like and get free postage. So it's always the best deal. You don't have to sell or be promoting Stampin' Up. You can just shop and save at a discount. So the link for joining my team and purchasing a starter kit is always in the video description. So I thought I'd mention that first of all, because you might be wondering where these products are from. So that's the first thing I want to talk about quickly, in case you wonder and you haven't seen these products before. The other thing, speaking of a new catalogue, is that at the Stamping Lounge, we're having a mini catalogue launch party. That's happening on January the 11th, and it is available to purchase at the moment. You can purchase a ticket for that. It's I'll pop the link in the comments below, but Sale-a-Bration, Michelle, and I will be demonstrating loads of projects, and we've got some fun games happening as well. So if you're a Stamping Lounge member, however, you do not have to purchase that. It's included in your membership. So if you don't know what the Stamping Lounge is, it is an awesome class website with my friends Sale-a-Bration and Michelle. You can purchase a monthly membership for $24.95 Australian per month. You can join wherever you are in the world. It doesn't matter where you're from. There's a website that houses all of our content that you can access anytime you want. In fact, as I'm recording this tomorrow, so that'll be today, we have had our monthly class in the morning, which is focusing on watercolour techniques with the Happy Hibiscus bundle. So for $24.95, you actually also get a monthly class involved with that, so it's quite good value. I just wanted to quickly talk about that. And also, we have a virtual retreat coming up. Now, this is open to people that aren't members as well as members. It's in addition to our membership. We will have a retreat on the 23rd of February with the Storybook Moment Suite. So I'll have a link in the description for some more information if you want to know more about that. The last thing with the Stamping Lounge is if you want to purchase a gift for yourself, maybe give it as a hint to someone else or buy one for a friend, we have a 3-month membership gift voucher available in our store. So it's just over 74 Australian dollars, and that gets 3 months membership. And when you purchase it, it also comes with a gift voucher that you can provide. This is just a sample look at it, obviously where it doesn't show the code, but you will receive this to give to the person that you're buying it for, and that gives them a special code to activate a 3-month free subscription. So you'll get this as a printable version that you can add, or you can email it to them. So that's a really good gift idea as well. I think that's about it. So if you haven't joined one of my videos before, my name's Kayla and I'm from Tasmania in Australia. I come live every week with a crafty video showing you how to make something with Stampin' Up products. I do have a website where you can access all the previous PDFs that I've done, as well as see all of my work. There I've got a free PDF library, which is linked below as well. And I just have my December host code shared there. So if you shop with me, I love it if you can use that host code. It gets you a free gift, a free handmade card, and a tutorial from me. And I always appreciate your support. So I think that was about all of the intro. So the card I'm making today features this mixed media florals suite, I think it's called. So it's got 2 bundles in it. It's an online exclusive. Don't mind this. I've just used some washi tape with a certain design so to indicate to me that it's an online exclusive. So if you don't know what online exclusives are, there's a whole bunch of Stampin' Up products that aren't featured in the catalogue. They're only online. So don't ever miss shopping online and seeing what's there as opposed to just checking out the catalogue. So this bundle will be available on January the 7th, and it comes with loads of dies. This is a favourite of mine, and that is the bundle there. Otherwise, there's also one that coordinates called, well, you could just purchase it on its own really. It's called Mixed Labels, and it has these cute dies here. So I'm using both, and I'm also using this embossing folder, which is called the Plaster Painting 3D embossing folder. It's quite large. It does have patterned papers with it as well, which I'm going to use. I didn't get them out. I'll just grab them. So I've cut into these, but it's got some beautiful, pretty papers here. So we've got lots of different designs. I love this one. And this one would be good for scrapbooking as well. So I've got some pretty sort of water-washed designs. Love this colour. And there's a really pretty black and white. Yeah, I love this one. So yeah, that's the mixed media florals paper, and I'm going to be using that today as well. So I'm going to move these aside and show you the card that we'll be making. I've actually got 2. So this is the one that I will be making tonight. So this is called a single shutter card, and the way you open it is actually from the left-hand side, and it opens like a shutter. So pretty cool. I've snuck in some glimmer paper in there for a bit of fun. So yeah, you got a cute little shutter, and then what you cut out of the frame you can just use on the back. So really, really fun. This is a 5x7 card, so I've made a matching envelope with my punch board, and I've kept the measurements for this in Imperial because it's 5x7. That's quite a common photo size here anyway. It's just easier to keep the measurements in as one. This is the alternative I made, so very dramatic and black. And I've popped in a couple of Sale-a-Bration products as well. So this is got the Petunia Pop Glimmer. I just love the noise it makes. It's really fun. So yes, I have got that there. I realised that I haven't actually shared because I've kind of done this on a whim to make sure I'm done so I can go to my events. I realised it was something I didn't do, but I might just quickly see if I can do it. So there's a couple of Sale-a-Bration products on this one as well. So Sale-a-Bration products are available for every $100 you spend as of January the 7th. If you are a demonstrator, you can also already redeem those on any orders that you're placing in the back of the store. So that's why a lot of demonstrators already have them. But on this one, I've used this Fresh Freesia ribbon, which is actually a Sale-a-Bration product that you will be able to get free with a $100 order, as well as these really beautiful sequins. These are also a Sale-a-Bration product. And as you can tell, I've been using them quite a bit already. I do really like those. So I'm just trying to download something to make it easier to share. but I'm going to get started. So this one I also made a petunia pop envelope to match. So I'm going to need a few different things. I'm just going to bring this up on my screen and see if I can get it to work okay. I don't know if I've just made my screen black. I have. So I'm just going to quickly see if I can bring this up because I will need to explain what I'm doing, although I can just do it. Oopsie. Please work for me. Sorry about the black screen, guys. This is what you do when you are making a video totally unprepared. You get to see Kayla very disorganized. For some reason, it wants to show up the screen that I'm on. So I'm going to bring up the template that I made, okay? Because this is going to show the bit that we need to make it that. So I'm going to put that there, but I'm just going to take it away for a minute because we will need that. So I've got the pieces for the card, which I shared ahead of time as well in case you wanted to craft along. So we're going to need a piece of the designer series paper that you want to use. So I've chosen this one because I quite like these petal pink stripes. And then you'll need your base cardstock color. So you want to get 3 of the same color, and these are all cut to 5x7, and this is Summer Splash. You'll also need one that is cut to 4 1/4 by 7. Okay, so that's all in inches. And then these 2 pieces here are just for the inside of the card. So if we grab that back out, you'll see the inside here. So we want something for that. And for that, I've got the basic black, and I have cut that to 4 7/8 by 6 7/8. And then the white is 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. So that's just going to form our inside, okay? So that's the pieces that you'll need. You'll also need this piece of white here. And for this piece, I'm just bringing it up so that I've got it in front of me. We're going to emboss this one with that beautiful embossing folder that I showed before. And to cut this piece, it will need to be cut to sorry, my computer is being very, very slow. It's definitely dying. This will need to be cut to 5 3/8 by 3 3/8, okay? So that's going to sit in the middle. Oh, goodness. It's lost the camera again. Okay, give me a second, guys. I'm just going to see some reason. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, so if you missed that bit, I said it was 5 3/8 by 3 3/8. And let's just hope that this continues to play nice because it's not playing very nice. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to hope for the best with this technology business because it's not appearing to be very nice to me. So let's just get this going. So I am going to stick 2 of these pieces together. So this is the Summer Splash 5x7, and you'll see why. So I just want to stick one of those into the other, and I'm going to sort of shuffle it so I know that I've got it flat on top. And then I'm going to stick my designed piece down on top of that again. So stick that on top because what we want to do is have some weight to that piece because that's going to get pulled on a bit. So that's going to form this front frame, and we don't really want that to be flimsy. So we want it to have a bit of weight to it. So that's why we're sort of stacking those on top of one another. I'm just going to, it's a little bit of fluffy on the edge there. Okay, so now for these pieces, that's going to form the back of the card, and this smaller one, which is 4 1/4 by 7, is going to be our mechanism. This little piece here is going to sit in the middle of that piece. So while that dries, because we're going to cut a frame out of that, we're actually going to make our mechanism. So what I'm going to do is quickly, if you want to take a screenshot, you can. This is the, okay, it's not going to work somehow because we've got I don't think I can. It's wanting to just do the camera now, so I might have to. Okay, I think we're just going to have to go with this because it's being a bit of a pain. So I'm just going to have to do it with you. So you will have the PDF available afterwards, which will have the template in it as well. So don't fear because that will be there available afterwards. So what we're going to do is take this 4 1/4 by 7 piece, and we're going to line up on the 4 1/4 edge. We're going to line it up to 3/4 of an inch on this side. Move your cutting blade out of the way. You want to score at 3/4 of an inch, okay? Then we're going to turn it, and on the 7-inch side, we're going to mark it at 3/4 of an inch again. And then what we want to do is turn it all the way because we want to do one on this side. So one of the long edges will not be scored. So we want to score that. So you'll have something that looks like this. Now the next step to do is we're going to put this back in with this 3/4 of an inch on the right-hand side, and we're going to line this up at 1 3/4 of an inch. And what we're going to do is score now, but score with a scoring blade only down to this first score line. So we're just going to give that a bit of a score. Now, while you've still got that in the track, move it down, and you want to score from the bottom here up to that first score line as well. So you should have it looking at something like this, okay? Now, what we're going to do is do a little bit of cutting. So we're going to line this back up with this score line on the right-hand side. We're going to line that up at 3/4 of an inch. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut from the first score line down to the bottom score line along that 3/4 of an inch score line. So we want to line it up at the first score line and come down and cut there. So you should be cutting that score line, okay? Now, we want to actually cut this piece fully out. So we should have a slit there. I'm just going to give it a bit of a cut on a tiny angle and just remove that piece entirely. So you could do that whole bit with scissors. It's just that having the do it with a trimmer makes it nice and easy. So what we want to do now also is cut along this bottom bit to that middle score line there. So you can do that in the trimmer if you want. Can be easier. So you just want to make sure you're cutting only up to that first bit, so you should have a bit of a flap here. Now we want to do the same thing on this side. So line that up and cut just to that middle score line there. So essentially we've created these two flaps. So that is actually your mechanism. You should have something that looks like that. And the template will be available afterwards. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're just going to give these a bit of a burnish. We want to make sure they're nice and straight. So you flip this over and do it this way. Okay. And then we're also going to give these ones a burnish as well. This is what's going to form our shutter. So we have got them like that. So you should have this. Okay, so now we want to bring our trimmer back in because we're going to cut our frame into this piece now. So we've got that all leveled up. Now what we're going to do is cut a 3/4 of an inch frame. Now what I find, this is probably not the easiest way to do it, but it's what I do. I'm actually going to cut through. Now this is cutting through a 3 thickness of the card and the design through his paper. I'm just cutting a line that is marked at 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to line this up again at the 3/4 inch mark here on the right hand side, and I'm going to cut until I meet. So these trimmer blades have a little mark here, which is where it's cutting to. Sort of want to meet that line. I'm guessing a little bit, but coming here, and I'm sort of doing it guessing because I'm not right over the top of my trimmer. Okay, so I'm going to mark it. I'm going to go at 3/4 of an inch again. Come in, line that up with that first cut line. And now, because we haven't gone all the way, we've been guessing, we've got to come around and finish those cuts. So line this up, cut, and then sort of having a little bit of trouble going all the way through, so I might have to grab my scalpel, my craft knife. I always call it a scalpel. Just tell me what you call it. Okay. So you could do this with a pencil and mark them all out if you want to, if that's more your thing. I'm just basically cutting a 3/4 of an inch frame, okay? Now, I can tell that this has not cut all the way through. So I'm just going to give it a bit more of a cut because this is quite thick. So you just want to make sure that it's fully cut through because you don't want to be tearing it. You want to get a nice edge. So let's see, that's feeling a little bit better, but we might need a little bit of help with the craft knife. So I'm just going to bring in my glass mat. If you don't have a glass mat, they're amazing, but they're also really good for cutting with a knife. So I'm just using my craft knife just to release any of that last little bit. And once I get it in that groove, because it's quite thick, it's staying in the groove. So I find that I don't really need to use a ruler. Stampin' Up do sell craft knives, by the way, to go on your take your pick tool. It's just that, oh goodness, that has ripped. That's okay. I don't know why, because I've actually got a new blade in my trimmer, so it's a bit bizarre. But let's just have a look for a second. I do actually cover the bits up that you can see there. So we'll have this side, and then you won't see all of that other messy bit. So that there is feral. Okay, I'm just going to get my sanding block and just give I do actually have 2 blades on my trimmer, so I actually always rotate them. Just me. Maybe we'll have to go with rustic look. I always rotate my blades. I'll show you. So I've got this one, which is my newest blade, and this one down the bottom is one that I take off. I push it down to the bottom and mark it with a gold paint pen. And I use that when I'm cutting glimmer paper because I don't want to really quickly ruin a blade. So what I'm going to do, this is probably good because we've got tips with Kayla now, is I'm actually going to purposely make this a little bit distressed. So I'm going to grab a blending brush because I know that I'm not going to be able to get this perfect now. So I'm actually going to go with the distressed look. And I'm just going to add a little bit of tone-on-tone inking to the edge here. So I'm just going to come in and add that colour around the frame. So what I will need to do though is make sure that I repeat this sort of distress look through my other Summer Splash pieces because otherwise it will look really random. So I'm going to go with that now. Okay, so I just need to clean up my mess here so I don't also get ink everywhere. Okay, so now we've got our frame. Would have been easier to do with a pencil and ruler now I think about it. Okay. So now we've got the back of our card as well as our mechanism piece. So what we can do now is actually stick our mechanism piece down. Now, if you line this up, you'll see that this piece here actually sits inside this piece. So I'm just looking at there's a little bit of a mark up here, but I don't think I'm going to worry about it. Okay, so I'm going to add some adhesive now. So you'll see on the template where I said to put the glue, you want to put it to these 2 longer tabs here. And then what we're going to do is line our frame up. Okay, so line this up so you've got this piece here should sit in the middle. And then what we're going to do with these tabs is actually tuck them. Did I apply glue to the wrong side? Yes, but that's okay because I can flip it. Okay, so we want to stick it there, but you want to have your glue facing up. So make sure you've got the glue facing up. Stick it in the middle, and then we want to grab this tab and actually stick it underneath, okay? So that should be glued underneath the other tab that's the same size. Okay, so just let that sit for a minute. Okay, make sure that that's nicely glued. I've got sticky fingers now. Okay, so then what we can do is we want to, before we stick it to the back, we actually want to add in our background, so our two pieces here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to apply a little bit of blending. I'm just going to see how much colour is left on this brush from doing that frame. So this is just Summer Splash. I don't think I'll add too much. I'll just keep it pretty minimal. Now I'm going to take my stamp set here. I'm going to grab this little stamp. I always keep, if I have extras, by the way, I always keep them in here. So I'm just going to grab that one, and I'm going to grab one of the little ladybug images. And I'm just going to stamp both of these images with Memento Black into that bottom corner. So nothing too fancy. I'm just stamping those like that. Now I'm going to take a Petal Pink Stampin' Wrap marker, and I'm just going to spritz a little bit of colour over the background. And then I'm going to keep it pretty simple with a little bit of blending. So I've got, these ones are the Lemon Lolly. I'm just going to add a little bit in the middle of my flowers. And I realise that I'm going over the Summer Splash blending, so they will have a blue tone. And a little bit of darker Lemon Lolly into the middle. Okay, and then for my ladybug, I'm going to grab a little bit of, might add in, just a bit of a random combination. I'm going to add some dark, pretty in pink, just to the wings there. I'm going to add some dark petunia pop. Okay, and then I'll just give it a blend in between. Okay, and then I'm going to add a little bit of Winter Stella. Whoa, that's a lot of Winter Stella. I forgot that I pressed down on that this morning. I've been making a fun card for next week, which will be the last video for 2024. Isn't that crazy? Okay, so I'm going to stick that down onto my mat of black, and then this whole thing can get stuck down onto my single piece of Summer Splash. So I'm going to stick that down now to here. Okay, and then what we're going to do is stick this down. So what we want to do to stick this down is you only want to apply your adhesive to this small tab. I hope I did this right. You know when you're doing a fun fold, you just get that quick thing that you're like, oh, did I actually stick that right? Okay, so I just want to stick. This is only the second time I've made this card, so oopsie. Oh no, sorry, it's the third. I did make another example. So we're just going to test it. So I feel like that I missed a step. I don't know. I think that's stuck. Okay. Is anyone else impatient like I am with waiting for things to stick? Because I'm not the most patient person in the world when it comes to things like that. Just want to make sure that that is. That's better. Okay. Yes, that is correct. Listen to me, I'm teaching myself as I go. Okay, so that is that. Now, I probably would have, I think on the last one, it does catch a little bit here. That's where you've cut up to that score line. So if you want, you can take a sliver off, which is I think what I did on my previous one was I just took that tiny sliver off that little piece there, and it helped with it sort of flipping like this, okay? Right. That's that. Now, what you have is this piece that we cut out from the center here. And what I did with this piece was actually cut a tiny sliver of it off. Now, I'm going to use my older blade because I think, so this is the blade I've got down the bottom. I'm just taking, like, seriously, it's probably not even an 1/8 of an inch off there. I'm going to do that again. Just make sure. I mean, because I'm going through so many, you could use it. I would actually use a guillotine, if anything, because that you get a nicer finish with the guillotine. And what we're going to do with this piece is actually stick it to the inside. So it's going to go, actually probably need to take a little bit more off. I'm going to bring in this. This one is probably not the strongest guillotine to use for this. It's just the one I have at arm's reach. Okay, let's see how that goes. It's my birthday today. I'm not having much luck. Don't have the birthday luck going on today. Okay. Let's see. Is that better? You just want to trim it. I think I trimmed enough that you can see a tiny bit of summer splash, but you also don't want this to get in the way either. So you don't want it to get in the way of your mechanism. So I'm going to stick with that. So I'm just going to add some glue. Make sure it's nicely adhered so you don't have it peeling up, but it's also quite heavy because it's the 2 layers of cardstock and 1 layer of designer series paper. So then that kind of matches the frame then. So we flip it over and we've got the front. Okay, now for the front, we're going to take our piece of basic white from before. I'm going to bring in our die cut machine, and I'm going to use the Plaster Painting 3D embossing folder. So I'm just going to bring that in and add my piece. And that's going to go inside there. So I don't know. I think I should ask Santa for a new computer for Christmas. What do you think? Because this one's driving me nuts. Okay, I'm going to bring my summer splash back in now. And on this piece that I've just embossed, I did leave it white originally, but it looked a bit, I don't know, too white. So then I went and decided to add just a little bit of the summer splash. Plus, I love inking embossed pieces. I'm really just, I didn't re-ink it then. I just went over the top just to get some more colour on there. Okay. Now what I might do is just add a little bit of summer splash marker and just add a little bit of spritzing over the top. And then this one is going to go into the center of here. So I think I stressed my top right corner a little bit, and because it's going to now show white, I might actually bend it over and add a little bit of color so it's not stark white. And then that is going to go into the center like that. But I'm not going to stick it yet because we're going to add something else. So now I have die cut one of these. This is that beautiful die from the mixed florals out of Summer Splash. So that's going to go on the front like that. I also prepared ahead of time a couple of the sentiments. So I have heat embossed these in black, and they are from the mixed labels. And I also used the mixed labels dies, which was this one here, and I've just cut out the one for the front. Now, I shared these ahead of time. I did actually heat emboss all of these images in black on some watercolor paper. So that's what we're going to be working with. So we want to watercolor all of these, and then we're going to put the card together. So I'm going to show you my process of watercoloring them. So we're going to start with some Pool Party. So for the flowers, I'm going to go with some Pool Party, a little bit of Summer Splash. So I'm just using my ink pads on my glass mat. And then I think I added the tiniest touch of a little bit of Blueberry Bushel. Okay. That seems really random, I know. Now, for the leaves, I'm going to pull out a little bit of Lemon Lime Twist, or it might have been Granny Apple, I'm not sure, but either or will work. And then a little bit of Shy Shamrock. So that's going to be the basis, and then we'll pull out some other colours that we'll need in a minute. So I've got my water painter, and I'm going to grab in a very needing to wash cloth. Okay, so then I'm going to start with my floral piece here, and I'm going to prime the flowers with a little bit of water, and this just helps that colour to move. So I'm just going to do both of my, I suppose they're daisies. I'm going to start with a bit of Pool Party. So I just watered that down a little bit, probably a little bit too much going on there, but I'm just going to add in my base of a little bit of Pool Party, sort of refilling the brush as I need. I'm not by any means a colour expert. In fact, it's probably the thing that I need to work on the most. But I like to just keep it loose and not worry too much, because I did not start card making to be a perfectionist or worry. So, okay, so there's my Pool Party down. So what I might do is because that is quite wet, I'm just going to leave it for a minute, and I'm going to do my leaves here with my base of Lemon Lime Twist, which I still have a little bit of blue going on, but that's okay because that will be fine in a minute. So I'm just going to add in my Lemon Lime Twist to my leaves here. Put one there. And then I'm going to add a bit of Lemon Lime Twist to my stem. I love doing heat emboss colouring as well, because it sort of helps to contain the colours in a little bit. So now I want to go in with my Summer Splash, and I added a bit too much water then, but I want to not colour the whole daisy leaf. I'm just sort of applying a little bit. I want to leave some Pool Party showing. So sort of easier with the bigger flower. Now, I don't freak out if I go over the lines, honestly. It's, as I said, it's not meant to be perfect, I don't think. Nature's not perfect. So the more wet you've got that, the more the colour's going to move. Okay, so we've got, come back in and add more to any spots that you might think need a bit more colour. Okay, now I'm going to come back to the leaves now, and I'm going to colour in pretty much half of the leaf with the Shy Shamrock. So I'm adding a bit of darker colour in there. Okay. Now you can leave that for a bit if you want. Now what I'm going to do is bring in a little bit of Blueberry Bushel. I just want to water it down a little bit, and I'm literally just touching my brush on so it sort of moves that colour a little bit and adds the tiniest bit of, I've got it quite wet at the moment, so it's probably adding a bit too much, but I sort of loved the combination of these colours. Okay, so I'll come down to the little daisy down here. I'm just going to add in some of that blue down there as well. Okay, so then back to the leaves again. I'm going to bring back in my lemon lime and sort of stroking it backwards towards the base of the leaf. It helps sort of blend that shy shamrock and the lemon lime together. Okay, so that one needs to dry a little bit, and then we're going to come back in and do the rest of them. But meanwhile, we've got 3 of these, which are going to be done with the lemon lime and the shy shamrock as well. So I'm just going to colour in the base of those with this lemon lime. I can't believe I've had another week of technology problems on here. Let's just hope the sound's okay, because I can't tell until after I've done all of this. But yeah, technology is not my friend at the moment. Okay. So my next video will be on the 28th, and that will be the last one for 2024. Not the last one, but the last one for this year. Which, by the way, means that there's been 46 videos and free PDFs this year. So that was my goal at the beginning of 2024, was to do, or try my best to do one each week. And I think I almost got there and do the free PDF, because my hope was to build a big collection of free resources on my website. Because even though I have the Stamping Lounge where I teach and there's a membership fee, I also love to just come and craft and to teach others to craft as well, which is a big motto over at the Stamping Lounge as well. And I do love all those that have jumped on board and supported that journey this year. We've got lots of members, and of course we would love some more, so be sure to check that out. But yeah, teaching card making and papercraft is a big passion of mine. So that's been a lot of fun this year to put together that free PDF library, and there's lots of different fun folds you can learn. So be sure to check out the link below where you can find the free PDF library. And if you're in Australia, you can find any of the products I use in my online store where you can purchase them and support my little business. Okay, so I'm just adding the shy shamrock to my leaves like I did on the flower as well. So I'm still letting a bit of that lemon lime twist shine through, because it's beautiful. I love this combination. I'm just going to bring in a little bit more of the lemon lime twist to sort of blend where I feel like it needs it. Make those colours really meld together. So I will have to do a little bit of pre-recording coming up, simply because I'm away. Well, I've got lots of things going on actually in January and February. So my son's birthday, I'm going to Victoria for between the 12th and the 17th, I think it is. And we've got our Stamping Lounge retreat. There's lots going on. So there will be a few pre-recordings here and there, but I will still aim to be live. Okay, so that is that. I just want to, this leaf here just looks a bit funny to me. So I'm just going to come in and add a touch more of the pool party there. Okay, so now I have done, I'm just going to clean off these colours that I've got here because I don't think I need them anymore. So I'm just going to have a baby white. This is the really cool thing. Did you know that glass mat is still available? So you can find that in my online store if you want a handicraft mat like this one. Okay, so now we want to do a little bit of colouring here. Now, I don't think I need to really get my ink pad out as such because I'm going to just use a little bit of my Stampin' Wrap markers. Now, that's probably really hard to see because it is petal pink. But I'm just going to add a little bit of petal pink and a little bit of my Berry Burst. And with that, I'm just going to add a little bit of colour to the middles of my flower, and then I'm going to bring in my Petal Pink, which is a very light pink. So I'm going to bring that in. And then I'm just going to water down this Berry Burst a little bit and just sort of touch it in where I can see that that would be a bit darker. Just going to dot it in there. Okay, let's give that a second. And then the flowers are going to, the flowers are going to be a mixture of a little bit of crushed curry. We'll do crushed curry, a little bit of pumpkin pie. And I think we should get away with just those two. So I'm just going to clean that one out. Now let's just water down our crushed curry. I'm going to just touch that on those flowers there. Okay, so these are really handy way to use Stampin' markers if you just want like to scribble a little bit on your mat there. They are the same makeup as our ink pads, so they work with water, they react to water. You can actually get free Stampin' markers, so you can get 2 packs, and I think they're about $67 or something each, and you're getting 2 packs of your choice if you join my team when Sale-a-Bration's on. So that's from January the 7th through to the end of February. If you join, you can actually choose, I think you get an exclusive stamp set as well as 2 packs of these for free, and they're a really great starter way to build up your colour collection, because you can stamp with them, you can colour with them, you can watercolour with them. They're a really forgotten essential, really. So for things like this, where I only needed the tiniest bit of colour, because as you can see, this goes a long way, they're really great to have out. You can also journal with them. I don't do a lot of that, but I'm just going to bring in some more of that Petal Pink and sort of blend that together a little bit. So that's my flower or watercoloured. Now let's do these tiny, tiny ladybugs. I'm going to do a little bit of Berry Burst, I think, actually. So I'm just going to touch that. They're only a very tiny space, so I just want to add a little bit of Berry Burst. And then I'm going to come in with a tiny bit of Poppy Parade, I think. I don't know if they'll be, they're still quite wet, but I just want to mix that Berry Burst with a tiny bit of Poppy Parade to add a little bit of drama to them. So there we go. So now I'm just going to clean off this, and we'll do a couple more bits while we let those dry. Okay, so then I'm going to bring in my piece here. So this is the label that I pre-die cut out, and I want to add a little bit of blending to the bottom. So I'm going to bring back in my Summer Splash and a blending brush, add a little bit to my blending brush, and literally just add some colour to the bottom there. So I'm just making it stand out a little bit. And then while we wait for the rest to dry, I'm going to bring in this piece. I want to actually add a little bit of ribbon. So I'm going to use this Summer Splash bordered ribbon, but I'm going to fray it. So I've pulled out the ends a little bit, and what I'm going to do, sometimes you can pull out a bit that will fray the whole thing, but I have mixed results with that, and this particular one didn't want to do it. So I'm actually just going to pull out the strands. So I'm just going to pull them out like this. And then grab a few more. Pull them out. I've actually still got some here, so I've got quite a mix of them. Then you get something that looks like this with the frayed ribbon. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to kind of cross it over in a figure of 8, and that's going to go over the top of this piece. So those that watch my videos will know that I love using my stapler, and that's what I'm going to do here. So I'm just going to pinch them together and then place them somewhere in the middle. Now I'm also just holding this die piece on because I'm actually going to use a stapler to adhere it. So I've just got a staple down there because it's just a lot easier. So I'm just going to trim these ends up because I don't want it to really overhang that shutter piece on the card. So let's bring this in now. We can add some adhesive. I think those are not actually underneath the staple. So let's bring in another staple. I'm going to add my glue. You could also put this up on dimensionals, which would look really pretty. Now I'm going to apply a fair bit of glue because I've got a lot of texture and a lot of things going on. So I'm going to stick that now. I didn't check if it was the right way. Yeah, it is. And I want to stick that centered onto that Summer Splash piece. Give it a press. Make sure you've got all the bits and bobs pressed down. Okay. And then what we're going to do is adhere our bits over the top. So these are probably not 100% dry. So if you're making this card, I would set these to dry for a little bit longer. It's just that I'm doing a video, so I'm going to be true to my style and be a little bit more impatient. Just sort of fluffing out those ends a little bit. So I'm going to stick this floral piece, and I'm going to do that with dimensionals. So I'm just going to apply a few dimensionals to this piece. I'm glad I showed all of the images at the start because it appears that that's not working on my computer now. It doesn't want to connect. So by the time this goes live tomorrow, we should have our retreat open for booking. So if you want to join the Storybook Moments virtual retreat, check the links down below. That should be up. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure I'm covering that staple that I put there and stick this right over the top. I feel like I just tossed a ladybug. I'm not sure. Did I? Maybe. We'll soon find. You always find out when you clean your floor afterwards. You're like, oh, that's where that went. Okay. So our little sentiment is going to go here. I'm going to apply a dimensional to one side and then pop some glue on the other because it's going to half sit on top of these daisies here. So I'm just going to place it like that. I did forget I was going to stick one of these in here. Let's see if we still can. I think it'll be right. So let's just add a little bit of adhesive there and tuck it in. I think I might have to make it a little bit shorter just to make sure I can tuck that low enough in there. Still want to see it, but it needs to be a little bit more hidden. Okay, so let's add some ladybugs in here. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue to my ladybug and have one sort of sitting there, and then I don't know if I added two on the original. I think I'm just going to add the one. Now we want to grab our Winker Stella. Go to town as much as you like. I love a lot of glitter, so you'll always see a lot of glitter when it comes to my cards. Now I'm going to decorate with some of the sequins. These ones here are a Sale-a-Bration product, so they'll be available to redeem free with a $100 order as of January the 7th. I'm going to add a few of these on my card because I think they go really well. I can't remember now what embellishment actually goes with this suite. I feel like there was one. It's not these, but I just really love the look of it. So I'm just going to stick a few in and around. I really love the bright pink one, so I want to add another one of those. So I might stick it in there. So that's the front of our shutter, and I haven't done it yet, but we need to add our little strip of glimmer. I feel like I already had one cut. It must be sitting around here somewhere because I feel like I definitely had one cut out. Probably hanging around. I just can't find it. That, or it's up here. Let's just have a quick little look. I can't see it, so let's just cut another one. So I'm going to cut a piece that is just shy of 3/4. Okay. And just shy of 7 inches. I'll need my strip out here. So I want it to be just shy of 7 inches. And that's so that we don't get any overhang. Okay. And where this is going to go is actually underneath here, because you do see this little piece, and if you don't put something there, you don't have to put something there, but you just see that bit underneath. So I really like to cover it. Okay, so let's add a little bit of adhesive to that strip, and then just stick that down. So give it a press, and then we can see that pretty bit of glimmer, because you do see that through that shutter window like that. Now, in here, all I have done is added a couple of these, and then I'm going to add our little sentiment. Now, our little sentiment, I'm going to just chop down a little bit. So I'm going to pop that in the trimmer and give it a little bit of a chop. I'm eyeballing it a little bit here. So just make sure it's nicely trimmed down. And then we're going to have this here. So I'm going to stick these little leaves down. So I want to put one roughly there. Oh, let's see. Roughly there. And then I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive to this one. And I'll stick that one just off-centered a little bit. All of that, and you don't really see that mistake that much because you don't really flip it that way. So you're going to flip it. So you actually, unless you're looking really intensely at that bad cutting I did, you can't really see it. Okay, so then I'm going to stick my sentiment over the top here. You could use glue dots, or I'm just going to use a fair bit of glue because it's going over the top of a bit of dimension. So I'm just going to give that a second, and then I'm going to add a ladybug in here, so a bit of adhesive there, and stick my ladybug. I might have it so it looks like it's sitting on top of the leaf. Stay there. And then let's add a little bit of sparkle. And if you want to, you could also add a couple more of these sequins, because the benefit of these is that they're pretty flat. So they can go, they'll cope okay with being on a card like this, especially because, you know, we're already over limit of it being past 1 postage stamp, so why not make it a bit thicker anyway? So that is the card. How fun is that? A lot of fun. Now, I feel like a lot of people ask me about making envelopes. Now, this one here, I've been making envelopes a bit with my envelope punch board. Stampin' Up used to have these. They don't anymore. However, you can buy them. If you just type in envelope punch board on Amazon, or I think I even have it listed in my Crafty favorites, which you'll find in the video description, you will find those on there. So what I'm going to do is grab a little bit of 12 by 12 cardstock. This is Petunia Pop. That how you actually get the sizes for what you need is this card is 5 by 7, but I would not cut a 5 by 7 size card because they're chunky. So if you go something like 5 by 7. If we try 5 by 7.5, maybe that would probably be more suitable. Or there's because you want to allow for the thickness of your card as well. So if we go 5, there's 5.5 by 7.5, but that one was a little bit too big. So let's just try the 5.5 by 7. So what we need to do is cut our 12 by 12 piece to 10 by 10. So I'm just going to cut this down a little bit. By the way, the two-tone cardstock that Stampin' Up! Have introduced is great for envelopes, especially because you get that two-tone look as well. But it's a great thickness, so it's slightly different weight to our normal cardstock. So now what we want to do is we're going 5 by 7.5, so it's 10 by 10. You need to start with the paper size, and it's saying 4 1/8. So we want to line it up at 4 1/8 along this ruler here. And then you'll need your bone folder, which is somewhere on this messy desk. You would not believe I am pretty clean with crafting, but when I do a video, it is really easy for me to get messy really quick. Because I get in a frenzy and I chuck stuff all over my desk. Probably underneath. Oh, no, there it is. Okay, so what you want to do is line up. I've got 4 1/8. I'm going to punch, and then what I'm going to do is in here, you'll feel a groove. You want to mark it along that groove until you can't go any further, okay? Then we're going to turn it anti-clockwise, and we're going to line it up with this little notch here. We're going to line up that small line with there. And we're going to punch and go along like this again. Turn and do the same thing. So line it up with that little notch, punch, go along again. So you want to do that until you've got all 4 sides done. Okay, so now we have something that looks like this. Now what I'm going to do is put it in here. On the opposite side here, you put it in if you want your corners rounded. And this is just a corner rounder. So you've got nice flaps on your envelope. Okay, and then you'll have all these bits underneath. So that is how we do that. Now we want to just score all of these. Okay. So then we want to apply a little bit of adhesive. So I like to go with tear and tape. I'm just going to put some tear and tape along these edges here. Give it a press. And then peel that back. Still got no nails at the moment, and I've been butchering my hands all week. I peeled my thumb with the vegetable peeler, cut myself with this pair of scissors, and I'll tell you what, that's a beefy pair to cut yourself with. Okay, so now you fold this over, just give it a press, and then I fell over when I was showering the dogs, and I've actually bruised, you can barely see it, but it's bruising underneath my fingernail, and gosh, that hurt. Okay, so let me fold this over, give it a score. And that's our envelope. How pretty is that? So easy. And then I didn't test it because this is a different size. Oh, look at that. Perfect. Folds over fine. So the previous envelopes, this one here is really big. I don't know where I just put the other one, but this one's really big. I probably didn't need to go, where did I put the other one? It's just there. This one's smaller again, and I found that this one was just a touch too small. So it fits the thing, but you have to really push it in. So that one there didn't need to be that big. This one here is a good size because if we measure it up, yeah, so it's not as wide, but that's perfect. So the 10 by 10 size is great. And then what I did with these ones was I just gave it a stamp, added a little bit of shading and a spritz. With this one, I also added the matching cardstock. With the Petunia Pop one, I didn't bother. So it's up to you how you like to decorate the envelopes. But I have a strict rule with myself. Once I do a card, I make a matching envelope straight away. That way I have no excuses not to pick that card to send because it's all ready to go. So I hope you enjoyed that card today, and check out the links because there will be a link there for the blog post with more pictures of both cards and also a link to the free PDF, which also has the template because I couldn't share the template on the screen. So be sure to check out the links for the mini catalogue launch, the retreat, get a starter kit if you want to save some money and get these products now. That is my December host code. If you're going to shop any of these products or any other products, that'll get you a free handmade card, a gift, and a free tutorial. Other than that, I will see you guys next week. I don't have my card finished. I can tell you it's a fun fold, and it uses the terrific Toadstools bundle, which I actually do have here. So because I'm still working on it. So this is what I'm using next week. So it's the terrific Toadstool, also a New Me catalogue product, and it's got the matching punch, but it also has really cute paper. There's a sneak peek. This is a Sale-a-Bration product, so that'll be free with a $100 order as well. So that's what I will be using next week on the 28th. So stay tuned for that one. Other than that, I hope that you have a lovely rest of your weekend, and I will catch you all